Hi everyone, welcome to episode number 4 of the Oddcast, a collection of carefully curated stories. Today I have none other than my good friend Pratul Malthumkar.
I thought you'd say best friend, but I'll settle for it.
My best friend Pratul
It's
Malthumkar.
fine, bro, you don't have to.
He is one of the most smart and hardworking people I know in SRCC.
Thank you.
And we're going to have a good conversation today.
And try not to get cancelled.
Yeah, that's the main goal, don't get cancelled.
That's the basic objective, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pratul, how would you rate your experience in Delhi? I know you're from Hyderabad. So that's a long way from you. So can you tell me about your journey coming here, getting into SRCC and everything in between?
Everything in between.
Yeah.
Man, I just have one word to say of my experience in Delhi, which is grateful.
Okay.
Because I can't give a gali.
Yeah.
But it has been like super, I would say, enriching for me because I used to grow up in an environment whereby I would get a lot of pampering because I was a single child. And then coming to a completely different environment and then having to navigate everything. I didn't, but at least attempting to navigate, all of it came with a lot of effort. And I think in that way, meeting people from a lot of backgrounds sort of helped me like realize that, you know, I'm way more bukchud than I am. And I still have a lot of potential.
So how was the transition to Delhi, like compared to Hyderabad? How was your life different there than here?
For sure. I think the biggest difference I saw in terms of culture in Delhi and Hyderabad is that I could sit anywhere, and this happened like a week before. I was in MKT and I was just normally sitting around, and like a 35-year-old person just walks up, sits to me, and he's like, "Aur bhai, kaisi chal rahi hai zindagi?" And like within 10 minutes, he invited me over to his place.
I think there might be some other
reasons. That's like, let's just say best case scenario.
Yeah.
But then in Hyderabad, like people are just in general so reserved.
Okay.
Like, and they're so protective. Like, it's fine if it's with their girlfriends, but like, you know, if you're protective even with your friends and like you're not opening up a lot, then there's really not a lot of room to like be very connected with the person, because you want to have deep talks with people and you want to like just be yourself. But in Hyderabad, you got to be mindful of whatever you're saying, because people there, I think it's a little bit more like reserved in terms of culture there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean,
are you saying as if you've lived in Hyderabad?
I'm just gonna, for sure, absolutely, I feel you. So, when you came to SRCC, you joined a lot of societies, and one of them was the Economic Society, which you became a cabinet member of. So how was your experience in that? So just for context, could you tell what EcoSoc is?
Yeah, it's a cool society. I was told it's prestigious, and that's why I joined it. I still don't give a shit about economics, but I mean,
with a BCom honors degree, joining the Economic Society.
Yeah, man, I have zero incentive towards economics or anything. But I mean, they were cool seniors. It felt very prestigious, so I was like, why not just go for it and do it, right? But I think in terms of society, so that was the first big like surprise that I had, that a college places that much importance on like student-driven initiatives. Because back in school, I came up in an environment whereby we had nothing which was student driven.
Yeah.
Everything would be done by teachers, everything needed approval, and when you're part of a student council, all you do is beat people up. Shon, don't lie, bro, you've done the same.
You assert your dominance.
Yeah, like
for political correctness.
A power is a power of, it's a position of influence for a reason. But anyways, so student societies were like super, I think, were a big surprise to me. And I think particularly I was super looking forward to join RAMSOC until I wasn't. Once I joined, and that's when I started looking for different societies, and I felt EcoSoc is the one for me, because it just felt there's so much you can do and there's everything under the sun that can be covered. So I instead like spent my time talking to seniors and avoiding work, and I think I learned a lot of that. Yeah.
Cool.
How was your experience with societies like?
Yeah, so
because you come from a very privileged school, and like you've had obviously an advantage which I didn't, because I mean, obviously
I don't know
my
about privilege, but yeah, so my experience was I had a senior from my school who recommended that I join this society called
which senior?
Vidhi.
Yeah.
So she told me social entrepreneurship is the best
thing. Social entrepreneurship is the best thing.
Yeah. For you.
Yeah, for
I'll
real.
have to check on that, by the way.
Yeah.
And she really told me about how much impact you create, and entrepreneurship was something I wanted to try out.
Yeah.
And
hey, what about the dating app you made? Why don't you tell them about the, 18 and below?
Okay.
I mean, but anyways, social entrepreneurship. Huh?
So I wanted that society. I prioritized that over everything.
Yeah, and just to give some context, Shon was on the boat, and then he was visiting Epstein Islands, and that's where he had this interview for an actress. And
just to correct it, that was Lakshadweep Islands.
Yeah.
And there was no internet, so I had to reschedule a lot of my interviews for that. Yeah. But yeah, I did have one on the beach side, which...
That's a flex. Yeah. Now, see, that's what I mean when I say Shon has privileges.
I didn't need a nice background, for my Zoom meeting.
Like, imagine going to Lakshadweep randomly and like giving an interview. That's privilege for you guys. And that's why Shon's my best friend.
That's why you and me, we work out.
Yeah, bro.
So I didn't get that, and I was kind of sad with the societies I wanted and was part of, because they weren't, the people and crowd I was interacting with wasn't too much along the lines I like.
Damn, give me names, bro. Who are these people you didn't like?
It wasn't just what I'd imagined it to be. So people recommended that I join a society, PR, get a position of responsibility, and
that's why you joined for it.
For placements, it's supposed to help in your CV building. And I did that, and I became the general secretary of the Commerce Society.
Oh, that's good shit. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you, my man.
Yeah.
And it was pretty fun because there was a lot of independence with that role.
Yeah.
And a lot of drama that came along with it.
True. Cabinet position gives you a lot of drama.
Yeah.
You're right.
And so general secretary in my society was the second highest rank, so I got to like tell people what to do. And
it's super prestigious. By the way, Shon was covered by NDTV, which is like a national media, and he spoke for about 75 seconds. Girls, if that doesn't impress you, I don't know what will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I got you covered, bro. Yeah.
So that was another big headache, along with the fun that I felt we had a lot of fun with the society. In terms of recruiting juniors, taking interviews.
Yeah, that was the best part. I think recruiting juniors was the best part because we finally felt like all the trauma we faced. Like our responsibility was that to make sure we create a better environment, a safe space, and we loved just not doing that. And if a junior would come, just magnify their insecurities and make them feel uncomfortable. But once they get in, we teach them how to be a good individual. So yeah. That's very important.
That was fun, but along with so the EcoSoc and ComSoc, they are the two among 6 registered societies in our college. Registered, meaning they were one of the oldest, and with that comes elections.
Oof.
And that was a entertaining part of college for me.
Yeah.
Do you want to comment about
next part, man?
Delhi University elections?
I actually don't.
Okay.
Because I don't want to comment on it because I have some vested interests, which I don't like to disclose in a public forum like this.
For sure.
But I think the elections is definitely a very entertaining aspect because, I used to randomly hear from my friends that if it was a girls' PG, then, there used to just be some random party members infiltrating and not giving a shit about the guard and then going to rooms and giving pizza boxes.
That happened.
That's DUSU for you.
Yeah.
But
so these politicians and what do you call rally members used to enter our college. They'd start bursting crackers and throwing
crashing gates and everything.
Entering our classes with melas of roses
armors and shit. It was crazy. It was crazy.
And the guards never did anything, and it was pretty scary, honestly.
You're right.
But that's something I'm glad we experienced because elections hadn't happened for close to 3 years because of COVID.
You know what else is scary, guys? Delhi University marking system. Because no matter how much we try and give, all I get is a fucking 7-pointer. Bro, I know my ass has worked so much more that I get at least 7.5.
Definitely.
But I don't know. It's I think Delhi University marking grade is just so evil. Do you know we have a relative grading system?
Really?
Yeah. So only if these people fuck up can our grade be good, and if these people, the more they do Shivdas, the more we get lesser grade. So that's how it works. So yeah, that's kind of that.
The thing I don't like, just since we're on the topic, is the internal assessment system in our college.
Yeah.
So we have a main class and a tutorial class, and they get 10 marks each, in which they grade.
Who needs tutorial? I mean, with all due respect for an SRCC, we don't need tuts.
So tutorials are meant for doubt answering, and it's like a additional 1 hour that we have to spend in college if we don't have any doubts or anything.
Yeah.
And most of the times, the teachers aren't. They just take extra tests. They don't teach.
Yeah.
At least that's what I felt.
And I mean, that makes me want to ask this question, which is, a lot of the times I hear a lot of my friends complaining about the fact that, bro, infrastructure is not that good. It's like, suboptimal classes and the experience is not that great. Firstly, tera baap ka college nahi hai. And secondly, you're paying 90k. But I think even with all those things, I still think the professors are something which are of a very, very good quality.
Yeah, they're definitely good.
And they're definitely amongst the best because, I mean, if it's SRCC, then the professors are really amazing. And I think that's something which we need to at least acknowledge the fact that, because I think professors are somewhat make or break in your grad thing. Maybe if you get like a very good professor, like we'll talk about Hassan sir and how Hassan sir played a huge life in Shon's life pretty soon. But, like professors are just very interesting because they have so much experience about like not just teaching but like say trekking, adventure, going out and having fun. One professor called Reena Chadda ma'am met Shon at a club. So
it was not a club, it was Delhi Golf Club, not the club that you think.
That's one way to look at it.
Difference.
That's one way to look at it, but that's the thing, you see, SRCC professors are flavorful. I mean, like, they have a story in themselves, if I can say. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I agree with everything you said, but yeah. Moving on, so Pratul, you told me that, I mean, in all the time I've known you, you've been really interested in international relations, IR.
Yeah.
So you were thinking of applying abroad, right?
Yeah.
And going through that process. Could you tell me what happened with that and how was that experience?
This is funny because I was saying the same thing yesterday to one of my friends who I was on a Google Meet with, and I was telling her this, that a lot of the people think applying abroad is very tiring and it takes a lot of toll. I mean, I get it, even when we were doing our CV vetting process, like the number of proofs they ask is insane. Like, bro, my mom trusts me more than that and she doesn't trust anybody at all. But taking that off the matter, right, I think it's a very beautiful journey, especially when you're applying abroad, where on a comparative with placement process. Because on the placement process, I think irrespective of whatever the job that's there, we keep on applying to it. We as in like, not me, because like, I don't need a job, but a lot of people do. But I think when it comes to applying abroad, the SOP in itself is just, it forces you to like have a reason, a strong enough reason why you want to apply to yourself.
What's SOP?
Statement of purpose.
Okay.
And I think in that way, right, my applying abroad journey was amazing. It was just me having conversations with people, 21-year-old French woman, Italian, other multiple nationalities, and then getting to know about their experiences in international relations, their career in United Nations. Okay. And it was the best time of my life because it was not just video, it was video calls, but I received a lot of guidance.
Yeah.
And I think that helped me in understanding why I want them as my mentors.
Yeah.
And I think that is a very good part about applying abroad because you're just forced to meet so many people and you force yourself to like reach out, and then it's just genuinely amazing the amount of stories people have to say, and they're also nice. Like most of the people in LinkedIn international are super nice. Indians, we all know, man, like they don't accept our connection.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is another story. It'll not end if we talk about it.
So one thing I learned from Pratul, and a thing I really admire about him, is how extroverted you are and how much you prioritize networking.
Thanks, man.
So that was a skill that I didn't really place that much importance. Sure, I did it for like getting a position of responsibility, like working in a society, but beyond that, for internships, for other purposes, there's a football behind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how we'll... I think I'll just... Okay, fair. Yeah, sorry for that intervention.
Yeah. So, how do you network and how do you face the rejections that come along with that?
That's a very interesting question, man. I think the reason why, at least I believe, I like networking so much is once you come out in an environment whereby you're vulnerable, you have no safety net. And I think this happens if you're an outstation kid, right? Because you're put out in an environment whereby you're competing with kids who have way more, not you, but like Sean, who have way more privileges, who are way more smarter than you, and who have like a lot more resources. And that makes you think how can I best learn from them? And I think that's why networking is like this hack. You know, you can learn so much from them in just so little time, and you can apply it in your personal life. That's why I think networking is super important. I failed miserably, failed a lot. I initially just used to be super desperate and like just shake my hand and then tell them about, hey sir, this is me. But I think I've learned from like multiple conferences and stuff about how to best network, and like I've also shown you my business card.
Yeah.
I don't want to show it right now. You want me to show it right now?
Do you have it right now? Oh yeah.
I do.
Okay. So this is how serious Pratul Malthumkar takes. There's a QR code behind and a list of his achievements.
Guys, so, you always got to be sure.
Yeah.
I always carry my business cards and my credit cards. Yeah. But I mean, if you're listening to this, I just want to
fake ID cards.
Hey bro, they don't got to know about this.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that wasn't part of the script.
Sorry.
Yeah. But I just want to say that I think networking is something which is extremely insightful. I think can really help us no matter what we're doing. And I think what is networking? Just reaching out to people. And you know how my networking journey began?
Oh.
It began when I was denied entry for a club at Ansel Plaza because it was just 4 guys and 1 woman, and we didn't have the ratio right to enter Delhi clubs. So it was just me, and then it was just asking to a bunch of women, hey, can you all accompany us? And then that's when I had a lot of vulnerability, and I was like, okay, you know what, no matter what happens, at least you gotta put yourself and like put your foot out there. You know, you never know what happens. And I think that journey was very transformational, which later helped me in my professional like stories and stuff, like networking with think tank experts or like ambassadors and shit. So I mean, yeah, club really changes you. Yeah.
So Pratul, you've been working really intently on drug control or drug regulation.
Yeah.
So could you tell me about how that journey began?
Okay. So it's a very emotional story. I had a very close friend. And she was super talented, super ambitious, super fun. And this was on her birthday party. It was on like the 11th or 12th floor in Hyderabad. And she was just trying out some substances because she just got in her favorite college. She got in Dartmouth. And she got in for theatre and I think theatre and literature arts. So all of us were celebrating, all of us had like bottles and stuff, and you know, she was like, let's just experiment something, you know, because it's a frat and sorority life. Then somebody gave her LSD and then she got super trippy, and then a couple of minutes later she didn't know what she had. It was meth, and 15 minutes later it was on the 11th floor. Then we went to the rooftop, all of us are having fun. We didn't know obviously what we were doing, and then she tripped. Parents covered it as pressure that she'll not be able to handle the US life, but that was a very painstaking journey. I mean, all of us still miss her to this day, but I think that sort of made me want to like, I wouldn't want to say dedicate my life, but at least strongly work towards like public health, drug policy and like drug trafficking. And I think when I came to Delhi, it just amplified even more. Because I used to see my friends, especially in North Delhi, just like, you know, have a plug and then just like try out multiple substances, which is fine. But sometimes we really don't know what we're getting into. And I think working with the government, especially at Home Affairs, taught me a lot about like public health and why it's important that we like take a stand on harm reduction. So I think, and that's the thing, right? Sometimes I just don't understand why. I have like a lot of my friends who are very talented, but they don't want to pursue what they're interested in because they're like, oh, maybe I'm interested in like finance because most opportunities are in there. But I think one shot, man. Like that's what I learned from you, you know, in golf. All I was one shot. You take your cue, you swing as high as you can. Like, I mean, I fail, but for Shon it goes hole in one. So
I learned that from Eminem, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like transition. Eminem, Shon.
Yeah.
Pratul.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Pratul had been interning and working quite sincerely with the Narcotics Commission Bureau of India, which is mainly focusing on drug control or drug legalization in such cases.
True.
So what's your stance? Like you briefly mentioned that you focus on like legalization of marijuana. Like you'd been working on that.
Yeah.
So why do you think drugs should become legal?
Is this the Indian auntie in you coming out?
I'm sorry.
No, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Till now, we've had a prohibitionist policy, which is to say that we've just put it under the carpet and we've said, hey, you know what, drugs are bad. Why drugs are bad? Because you can't control yourself, and then shit's gonna go down. Agreed. But the thing with cannabis is that it's completely different. You can't get an OD, which is an overdose, by cannabis. B, it is used multiple times in social transactions, and we had like a very high cultural experience or interchanges with it. Okay. It's used like cultural symbol like bhang, bhola, used in Holi. Are we going to talk about Holi party?
No.
Yeah, okay. But like multiple other things, right? So that sort of was an experience whereby it taught me that, and my mom's a doctor, and I see her, curing multiple patients or like telling her stories as to how people, because if you don't recognize a problem and you put it under the carpet, then you're not able to receive treatment for it. And because the minute how can you receive the treatment for something if it's stigmatized? And B, even if you receive the treatment, who are you going to go to? Because you don't have like enough accessibility. That's why my work with AIMS right now is to just focus on harms reduction and to focus on like de-addiction and just focusing on making people have safer approach towards drugs. Because I think it's a failure if we just keep on saying that, oh, you know what, slowly and slowly the demand will reduce and people will realize with education awareness. It's not going to happen. You have people in DU, like most of them who like do weed, and these people come from best colleges. So it's not about education awareness. It's a social currency, and I think that's why it's important that we look at it from a different lens. It sounds I'm telling things such like intellectual and like meticulous fashion, but like we can talk about different things because I'm like, yeah, this is not my personality, guys. Yeah, so that's what I was saying.
Even in terms of legalization of drugs, since we're on the topic, in golf there's something called CBD oil. So
yeah,
a lot
cannabis oil.
Athletes have seen that even during their golf rounds, in those areas like in America, I think it's legal to consume it. So maybe it helps in performance of athletes or unlocking another level of mental calmness.
Right.
I don't think drugs should be legalized in sports, but maybe if it can help in your off-season training and performance, I don't think why not.
Yeah, if it can alleviate your pain, then what's stopping you? Morphine is used, morphine people consider it as like a very severe drug, but then it's used in accidents because it gives you that amount of soothing relaxation. Are people addicted to it? That's a different question, depends upon patient to patient. But if something alleviates you and gives you that, pain-free sensation, then why not just go ahead and use it? So yeah, but I mean, enough about the entire heavy discussion about drugs.
That was, we went pretty deep.
Yeah, man, we went pretty deep with it. But
so me and Pratul, we're in our final semester of college.
How do you feel that college is ending?
It's pretty scary, honestly. I thought a 3-year degree is always going to be better.
2-year, 2022 to 2024, but yeah.
Yeah, because we get a lot more time, like one, we're graduating from a prestigious college, so we get a lot more time in comparison to the opportunities we have.
Right.
I thought that I'd be get a job by semester 5 and it's semester 6, so there's like a slight delay in my plans, but I feel happy. And
that's amazing, man. I'm happy for you.
It's been quite fun going to college these days, like compared to Sem 1, Sem 2, when you're just working on building something.
Oh man.
Building your CV, networking, getting friends. Now that you've got the right people that you like, you pretty much know everyone in college.
True.
So I think I can have more fun now.
You're right.
Sure, we got the worries of what are we going to do in the next 4-5 months once college ends.
You're right.
But at the end of the day, you can always have fun.
Yeah.
Even if you're working hard, just have fun.
This reminds me of something, I think that this is a difference which a lot of us can like relate to. Is that when we were at semester 2, no matter how good we are, we would just feel
inferior.
Inferior, imposter syndrome. I mean, I had massive amounts. I felt like no matter how much I was doing, I was like shit. Or maybe I was shit. That's something I still don't know to this day. But I used to get those feelings like a lot of time. Now it just feels like, I can do things at my pace instead of like just focusing or comparing myself to like any external person and be like, oh, like let's say if this person is doing this, then I should match or try to like lower that gap as soon as I have to. And that sort of makes you think of like yourself in a very reflecting manner as to like, I think SRCC in that way forces you to think ki, bhai, what is something which I value a lot? Okay, 100 people like this role, but do I like it? Do I want to do it? And then that's when you take these independent decisions, and that's when you get this FOMO. But then SRCC teaches you semester through semester that okay, it's fine, you can take things which you like. And I mean, that's when I had the most difficult phase of my life, giving GRE. It was also difficult because I was preparing for the exam and I used to video call Shon, and he used to just flex himself in like a 7-star hotel every other week or so.
Yeah, I was in Dubai at that time.
Yeah, and he worked at a very prestigious consulting firm, Carney, but I was super jealous of him, man, and I still am.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, man. Shouldn't have video called me, bro. Sorry. Voice call kar deta. Yeah, but we've accomplished personally a lot, I think. Like you know, to hell with the internships, jobs, organizations, colleges we've gotten into. But I think personally, it's just so much more. You know, we can tell our kids a lot, bro.
Yeah.
कि साले तेरा बाप किधर पढ़ा देखो पता नहीं है.
अगर 99%
exactly probation मिला है 2 बार फिर भी cabinet member बना है. Like that's flex worthy, bro. That's some shit.
No, even one thing that I've learned through this college experiences, I felt a lot of pressure because that's the direction everyone's going in. Right?
True.
Everyone's focusing on consulting, finance, internship.
And you feel what you're doing wrong if you're not doing it.
Yeah. So you don't get enough time to reflect on what your niche is.
True.
What's your interest? Because if you put someone in a high pressure situation and highly competitive, obviously, like everyone has a competitive.
You can just say you, bro. Like you don't have to be like modest about it.
But I felt like I had a competitive need to prove myself. Or like
that was me all the time. Yeah.
Work just so that I can say at least I'm not as bad as this person.
I think at least the second and third semester, because you're working in society and there's 60 of you guys.
Yeah.
It's like there's always 5 to 6 people who either the seniors like or who you know are like genuinely super hardworking and they have like amazing skills. So then what you try to do is like, or at least I did, is that try to prove my best to seniors that look, even I'm capable, which meant like taking a toll at, I wouldn't say mental health, but like, you know, exerting yourself to an extent whereby you felt like super tired at times and you didn't have that boundary, this is it. Beyond this, it's okay even if people are performing better than me. And I think in when you're a junior member, you know, you sort of, those lines are very blurred. Because your entire identity becomes validation from your junior members, which is your friends in society and your seniors. So that's the thing.
I remember ever since I've joined college, I haven't been able to sleep properly.
Damn.
Like, not in the sense that because of stress, that's one component of it, but you'd never have enough time to go to bed before 12
True,
PM.
man, true.
Like, you'd always be working on something,
trying
to study for exams.
Same, my sleep schedule has been like messed up because of Punjabi. I mean, it has been messed up too because of like work and stuff.
Since we're on the topic.
Yeah, since we're on that topic.
Now that you've achieved what you wanted from college, do you feel like you can now take a step back, relax?
You know what, bro, I'll be for real with you. I've never felt more like a loser.
Why?
Because
you've gone into John Hopkins.
I've never felt more like a loser more than ever because now I feel like there's nothing for me to do and I feel so shit because if you were in society, right, every day you'd have some tasks and your seniors would give them, and if you're a cabinet member you assign tasks, and if you're done with that you either give an exam, GMAT or like placement or something. Now that all of that is done, there's nothing for you to do. It genuinely feels so painful, like your heart feels crushed when you're wasting days. So I'm just like these days putting a frantic effort in like maybe doing some things and like seeing how I can basically have fun.
Don't
and
you feel that now that you have time you can do what you actually want to do?
Problem is I don't know what I actually want to do. I don't think any of us either. Like we're all just trying to make a bucket list. Oh, what are the things in your bucket list now that we talked about it?
So I haven't done this podcast in a long time, so I want to have a lot more guests on it, like some people I truly like that I want to record this just so that it's like a memory, right?
Fair enough.
Something that only you two, or like I can share with that person that I know exactly that I can connect back with. Along with that, I want to learn a backflip. I promise you, I'm gonna learn a backflip before
let's do it.
Semester ends.
Accountability mirror, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might break my neck in the process, but I'm gonna do it.
Fair. I wanna grow a beard before graduating. I don't know what I might do in the process, but I wanna grow a beard, and I wanna like focus a lot on skincare.
And then
really focusing on like proper skincare. Yeah, that's what I want to do, because the entire society time you just have zero time for yourself. You're either like, I don't know, working on reports, you're doing something else, and you just don't have time to look at yourself in the mirror.
But there's also, even if you're not working, there's that stress that you're managing 80 to 100 people. And you have to tell them what to do, and if everything fails,
it's on you.
It's on you. And then there's always a competition in between societies. Hey, how's the relationship between ComSoc and EcoSoc?
Yeah, man, it's as good as it could ever be, you know.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's nice. But I think societies are like, you know, good in its own way. But what makes things more better is, I don't know, man.
The people,
and more than the people, the experiences in Delhi. Like, have you been to like concerts or live music festivals or stand-ups?
I haven't been in Delhi, but I have gone in other places.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to those in Delhi, and I think that sort of becomes a core memory for you. I've made a goal that, you know, every other week I should either go to a stand-up or I should like attend a live, I'm not kidding, a live music festival, and it's just so like fun.
Okay.
Yeah, like, you know, if it's not Delhi, then I probably wouldn't have ever been in a mosh pit.
What's a mosh pit?
A mosh pit is basically like a group of people acting very rowdy and violent with people. I wouldn't have been in a mosh pit taking my shirt off, doing push-ups with West Delhi dudes, asserting dominance while listening to See the Moth in the concert. But that's sort of like, that's the thing, right? You do a lot of shit which is intellectual and stuff, but you also have to like negate it by doing some, this shit makes you like, you know, feel fun. That Delhi's fun.
You can actually be yourself, like
exactly
in society POIs or internships. You gotta be formal. You can't be your true self. Like have fun.
True. But when you're outside, if it's a music festival, whatever,
let it go.
Yeah, like I was like that in a lot of fests. Like, you know, multiple colleges have their fests.
Oh yeah, there's one college in particular.
No. Cut.
All girls.
Cut. I think that's enough, mate. Okay. It's enough information.
I remember you told me that you've actually won a competition in stand-up comedy.
Yeah. That was wild. Like? I don't know, because I think I bet with either you or Yuvraj either of you guys were like, if you have balls, then like do a stand-up, and I was like, bet. So I just registered. I had no clue, and then it was like it was a decent enough audience, and I didn't know I was paired up against people who actually had stand-up experience. Like, these are people who've done open mics before, who have run stand-ups before, and stuff like that. So I was like, I think there's still time so that I can back off my application and shit, you know. And but it was fun, dude. Like, I knew I was gonna mess up way before itself. I knew I had zero chance, but I was like, what if I pull it off? Because these girls don't know me, I don't know them, so like, what's the harm? But it was very nice. Like, I gave my stand-up pitch, acted as a comic. It was very nice, got the first prize, and that sort of made me realize that there's just so much more to explore in creative, like in a lot of creative shit. Like, you know, if you want to make music. I send my voice samples to Shon and his sister Nino. They told me I have potential, but they've been telling this to me since the last 3 years. So
he has potential.
Yeah, I just don't have to send them.
He has potential.
Yeah.
So I feel we covered a lot of topics.
We did.
So what's one thing you'd like to just share about how you're gonna spend? What's life advice you could give anyone?
What's life advice I would give anyone? Very deep question, man. I would leave you guys with this, and this is something I do personally. Whenever I book a flight, I always take the middle seat, and that's for a reason. It's because either on the left or a right, will be a very interesting person. And out of like, I fly very often either to Hyderabad or to multiple different places, and I think out of like abhi tak I've kitna out of all my experiences, most of the times people who were beside me was just so interesting. Like this one time, the woman beside me was like a associate VP at BlackRock. Wow. Another person was and very different, right? Another person was a retail manager at Ritu Kumar. Another person was into like fashion design and technology. Another this lady was she was hot, but apart from that, she was, I think, managing something at Deloitte, and she was telling me.
Can you tell me anything about other than the women who've been sitting with you?
The Ritu Kumar was like a guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was interesting because you just meet people from so many different backgrounds. I just wanna like end this or like have just this one final advice that people out there are really sweet and really nice. So like, don't put this in your head ki, oh, if I strike a conversation, what's gonna happen? What are you gonna think of it? Fuck it, man. One life.
Yeah. So with that, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, man.
We've been planning this for so long.
For so long.
And I'm glad to finally have you.
Yeah. So it's been really nice.
I
man.
really hope that whoever stayed till the end actually learned something from this discussion.
Yeah.
And
we'll
man. Be doing a lot more of these.
Yeah, so and I hope you have success.
You too.
Yeah.
In whatever form it might be.
Thank you, man.
Okay. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
What are you signing, Pratul?
Signing voluntary form for my death. I think my life's gonna change after this document.
Okay.
You can see my hands quivering.
Yeah.
Because Shon, I think you're gonna be the deadliest host I've ever had.
Just so you know, if you fail to comply with any of these, like, I get to own your kidneys.
Yeah. I just wanna say, Mom, I love you if you're listening to this.
Okay.